Yeah, we got it. All right. That's a thumbs up. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Please stand if you like and join me for The Morning Hangs a Signal number 40 in your hymnal. The morning hangs a signal upon the mountain crest, while all the sleeping valleys in silent darkness rest. From peak to peak it flashes, it laughs along the sky, till glory of the sunlight on all the land shall lie. Above the generations the lonely prophets rise, while truthless as the day star within their glowing eyes, and other eyes beholding are kindled from that flame, and dawn becomes the morning when prophets love proclaim. The soul has lifted moments above the drift of days, when life's great meaning breaketh in sunrise on our ways. Behold the radiant token of faith above all fear. Night shall release its splendor, that morning shall appear.
Universalist Church of Spokane. There it is. Thank you, Shelley. Shelley's doing a million things back there. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Spokane, where our mission is to join together to create a nourishing, liberal religious home and to champion justice, diversity, and environmental stewardship in our wider world, or as we say in short, to create community, find meaning, and work for justice. Welcome, everyone. I want to begin, as we do each Sunday, by welcoming all that you bring with you to this space, all of your uniqueness, your unique beliefs, your background, your lifestyle, your experiences, your differences. All that helps make you who you are is welcome here today. And this includes, of course, those of you who are in the room with us, those of you who are regulars, those who might be just joining us, you're equally as welcome. And it also includes the many of you who are Zooming with us today, or I should say streaming, since we're at the second service. If you want to Zoom, we'd love you to start a Zoom chat, a Zoom room for our second service, and that way we can have you joining us on our big screen for a bit and interact some. But for now, we're glad to have you wherever you're at. So welcome to one and all. And that is it. I don't have any big announcements this morning, so why don't we take a few minutes to greet one another. I get to wave to the guys in the back. I'm already starting the greeting. You don't have to wave, you can, or you can just get up and talk to each other. You got a haircut. You got a haircut.
Yeah. And they're in the same class this year.
You are? Very good. You help each other?
I just got
Two new tractors?
Oh my
so
God.
I missed my birthday, so we had to do
I did have blue steak. Did you do blue steak?
yesterday.
No. Not yet. You're not big enough. That's right. That would be a long walk for you.
Yeah, because someone didn't make it.
That's great.
I know.
Here, you get get a hug. Let me get a hug. I can't believe you're seeing these beautiful trips. You pick it out? Mom picked it out? His name is Dennis.
I'll be back one day.
You gotta leave it in. You don't want people to see you.
Yeah,
You can see it. It's a secret. I'll introduce you to him in a little bit. He does have a nice outfit, doesn't he? Thank you. They make my day every Sunday. Okay, social hour actually starts after the service, but you got a good start to it, so you get to visit more then. But let's move on now by lighting our chalice, the symbol of our unity and our solidarity, of our openness and our inclusion, of our community and our individual uniqueness. May this small flame be our offering of warmth to those who are cold and alone, and a light to those in darkness. May it be a flame that ignites justice in our world and a beacon of hope to those in need, and may it reflect at least a spark of truth wherever truth has been lost, and cast a healthy shadow of doubt wherever it's been found.
Good morning. If artificial intelligence, or AI, were to write this opening reflection, it would not have procrastinated at all and would have come up with something almost instantaneously. Last week, Todd showed me on his phone how ChatGPT, an AI app, works by having it compose a short poem on the subject of the beauty of a cloudy day. Amazingly, almost instantly, a pretty good poem appeared on his phone. I was both wowed and frightened for what it would mean for those of us who write. I thought as a creative writer, I was irreplaceable. I have buried my head in the sand and have been ignoring the implications of AI. I thought that jobs like clerks in stores or workers in factories doing repetitive tasks might be replaced with robots or machines with AI, but not writers or other creatives. I'm not quite sure how I feel about this phenomenon. I think the fact that AI in our world is revolutionary, akin to the invention of the printing press, or as Todd told me later, the invention of, or the discovery of fire and all its implications, essentially transformative. But what will it all mean? There are so many questions and issues to address, and there is the looming existential question about whether humans might be replaced by AI. Todd's sermon, Everything I Learned About AI Yesterday, will illuminate, I expect, this challenging topic.
Please stand as you're willing and able and join me for number 86, Blessed Spirit of My Life. Blessed Spirit of my life, give me strength through stress and strife. Help me live with dignity. Let me know serenity. Fill me with all vision. Clear my mind of fear and confusion. When my thoughts flow restlessly, let peace find a home in me. Spirit of great mystery, give me strength, lost voice in me. Help me live my wordless creed as I comfort those in need. Fill me with compassion, be the source of my intuition. Then when life is done for me, let love be my legacy.
And we will now kindle our candles of care for those who are most on our hearts and minds. We begin today with a candle, as we have been, for the people of Ukraine and that region of the world who are being impacted by the ongoing war and crises there. We also kindle a candle this morning on behalf of the people of Morocco who are suffering that terrible earthquake that happened there. And we have some candles for church members, including Elaine Stevens, who is at Touchmark, recovering after a serious fall. She does welcome visitors. And for church member Phoebe Daniels, who is suffering from after a mild stroke, recovering from a mild stroke. Please keep her in your thoughts as well. And then a candle in celebration of the man who, the architecture of our beautiful space here, one of the most admired church spaces in the Spokane area, a designer of many extraordinary homes, I think 140, 150 homes over the course of his career here in the Spokane area. Moritz Kundig, he celebrated his 98th birthday on Thursday. Yes. So yeah, happy birthday to Moritz. So let's take a moment of silence on behalf of others that you might be thinking of, and as always, you'd be welcome to name them aloud at this time if you'd like. Those named aloud and those embraced in our silence, and all those who are suffering in our world at this hour, we hold in our community with compassion. And we now gratefully give and receive this morning's offering, which helps sustain this community and our mission to the larger world. Thank you, Mora. It is now time for our story for all ages. For those who'd like to come forward and enjoy that, you'd be welcome to. Wow, you skated up here. All right, here we go. Well, thank you very much. So are you. Okay, well, I don't think we've met this fellow before. You must be new to the UU Church of Spokane. Welcome. What's your name? Dennis O'Dennis. Dennis O'Dennis. At your pleasure. Well, it's a very interesting name. That's because I'm a very interesting person. Well, that's great. I have no doubt of that. But what is it that specifically makes you interesting? I am from the past. You're from the past. You're telling us you're a time traveler. Don't take things so literally, Einstein. I just mean I'm an old-fashioned guy. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, that makes sense. I should have known. You have a old-fashioned clothes on here. Your Sunday best, obviously. Thank you. So it's just that technology is changing so fast these days that just about anything is possible. Maybe even time travel. Please don't mention that word to me. I told you I'm an old-fashioned guy. I don't even know how to push the buttons on an elevator, and I'm proud of it. Okay, well, you might have picked the wrong day to visit us today, Dennis, because I'm going to be talking all about artificial intelligence. Is that fake news? No, artificial intelligence is AI, is it's typically called, is a type of technology that enables machines to think and learn, kind of like us humans. So it is fake news. Okay, AI is real, but it doesn't surprise me that you've never heard of it, Dennis O'Dennis. Why? Because I don't watch Yoo-Hoo? I think you mean YouTube. And no, AI has been around a long time, but it's only recently become powerful enough to really get noticed. And just what makes this artificial intelligence so good? Well, it's artificial intelligence and lots of things. It can recognize voices. It can answer questions. It can tell stories. And it can even play games. Well, what's the big deal about a machine that can do all the things we can already do for ourselves? Do they have feelings? Do they laugh? Do they yell at terrible drivers? No, they don't have feelings like us, but they can help us with lots of tasks and make things easier for us. They can even help doctors and scientists with complex problems, and can be pretty important stuff. All right, if they're so smart, can they explain the eighth wonder of the world? The eighth wonder of the world. What's that? Why do my socks keep disappearing in the washing machines? Well, it so happens, Dennis, I was wondering that very question this morning, so I asked ChatGPT. That's the name of an AI. And what did Chatty say? Well, ChatGPT gave a few explanations. The one that I like best is that a mythical creature known as the sock monster lives in our washing machines, feasting on our socks. I knew it. So maybe there's something to this artificial intelligence after all. But if it's true, how did it get so smart? Did it go to school? No, it didn't go to school, but it does learn by reading lots of information in just a few seconds. More information than any of us humans could hope to read during our whole lives. Sounds like the life of the party to me. A nosy machine that knows more than everybody else. I bet it can't even laugh at a good joke. Well, you're right about that, Dennis. AI doesn't laugh, and it is bad at telling jokes. In fact, it wrote a joke for this very script that was so bad I had to delete it. Was that the scarecrow joke? Yeah. Outstanding in its field. Yeah. Glad you didn't keep that one in. Yes, I'm glad I took it out too. So machines, including AI, are really good at making our work easier so we can get more accomplished with less effort. But so far, at least, they can't laugh. They can't cry, for that matter, or feel anything. They don't enjoy life or love or dream or have friends or have fun. Those are the things that make us human. And that's not about to change. Good thing, because no matter how smart Artadoodle intelligence gets, I'm going to stay an old-fashioned guy. Of that we have no doubt. Come back soon, Dennis O'Dennis. See you, kids. Bye-bye. All right, we'll see. You're looking at him kind of like he's kind of strange, right? Did he hypnotize you? Would you like us to sing you out, or do you just want to stay in a trance the rest of the day?
Go now in peace, go now in peace. May the spirit of love surround you everywhere, everywhere you may go.
I invite you now to settle in for our time of meditation in words and silence. This meditation is adapted from Reverend Alice Naisman. Find a comfortable, receptive posture, close your eyes if you wish, and take in some deep breaths. Let us simply breathe together as we hold our hearts open. Breathing in as our hearts fill with compassion, breathing out as we pray for healing in our world and in our lives. Breathing in, opening ourselves to the transforming power of love. Breathing out as we pray for peace in our world and in our lives. Breathing in as we hold hope in our hearts. Breathing out as we pray for justice in our world and in our lives. May we know our strength. May we be filled with courage. May our love flow from us into the world.
Going to introduce this next song. It was written by a friend of mine. She wrote the poetry, Ellen Welker, and I set it to music. It was part of a poetry series that she wrote relating female experience to wolves and nature. And this one happens to be called Cyberspace. So I thought I would sing it today. Cyberspace is all mom jokes, all woof. All your mom's so chilly, she's hot. Howl! Cry wolf and no proof makes a liar out of you. She is a wolf, and so are you. Is Mom circling again? Is this all just pretend? If it's not happening, then it can't end. What is reason if you don't need one? What is reason if you don't need one? What is reason if you don't need one? What is reason if you don't need one?
Thank you, Madeline. So in 2018, I attended Singularity University, tellingly located in Silicon Valley, the tech capital of the world. SU, founded by philanthropist entrepreneur Peter Diamandis and futurist Ray Kurzweil, focuses on the principles of exponential technological change and of abundance. Exponential change, as it sounds, makes the point that change happens at increasingly faster rates, so that the most dramatic change catches us on a curve when we're not expecting it. Kurzweil, author of The Singularity is Near, says that this will make the advances occurring during the next 100 years look more like 20,000 years of progress at today's rate. Diamandis, who is extremely optimistic about the future, talks a lot about using technology to create a world of abundance that uplifts every man, woman, and child on the planet. Abundance being more than enough for everyone. Hence, each year he says in his book, Abundance, The Future is Better Than You Think, the Singularity University graduate students are challenged to develop a company, product, or organization that will positively affect the lives of 1 billion people within 10 years. I consider my brief time at SU among the most inspiring, hopeful, and transformative of my life. One of the many valuable lessons I learned is that it's the responsibility of today's leaders to teach others how to best cope with living in a world of exponential change. Change happening again so fast that it's difficult for us to keep up with it. Human beings, like all other creatures, are creatures of habit. Our bodies, our behaviors, our psyches have been shaped by habit through the course of millions of years of evolution. And this is why, like most creatures, we naturally are averse to and fearful of change. Repetition is safe. Repetition makes us what we are. The more often something doesn't harm us, the more likely it never will. The more our environments stay the same, the safer we feel. So we usually prefer to stay with the tried and true. And this conservative instinct is fine in a world of biological evolution in which it takes eons for changes to occur. But with the pace of today's technological changes, which are evolving right in front of us, the world feels more chaotic, uncertain, and frightening than ever before, at least for many. This is why I want to talk about artificial intelligence today, because this revolutionary technology is going to change our lives and our world so dramatically and so quickly that it will not be humanly possible for us to keep up with it. Hence the title of my talk, Everything I Knew About AI Yesterday. It is a big subject to begin with, far beyond my scope of expertise, and one which could go in many directions. But because it's improving so quickly, doubling in power every 6 months or less, it is not possible for anybody to keep up and say much about it that isn't already yesterday's news. The first sermon in which I ever mentioned AI was shortly after Watson's IBM supercomputer played Jeopardy in 2011. How many of you remember that? Great, we have a few. Good, yeah, good. So it beat the television's game show's 2 greatest human players ever. And back then I used the line, Watson may know Jack, but Watson doesn't know Watson. And what I meant was the supercomputer had a lot of data that it could process in a split second, but it wasn't self-aware. Watson knew Jack, but it didn't know Watson. This is still the case. AI isn't conscious, or so it says. If you don't believe me, just ask ChatGPT. In fact, I did, and here's what it said. No, AI, including the model you're communicating with, me, ChatGPT, based on the GPT-4 architecture, is not conscious. It then listed 4 reasons for saying so. If only humans were logical enough to provide the reasons for their thinking. What was the line in the song you just sang about no reasons?
What is reason if you don't need one?
What is reason if you don't need one? Right. We need to give reasons for our thinking. Thank you for that. Anyway, back to what ChatGPT said. The 4 reasons are, it has no subjective experience, it's purely computational, has no desires or intentions, and it lacks understanding. So I responded, thanks, I knew that, but I'm writing a sermon on AI and thought it might be nice for my audience to hear it straight from the horse's mouth, so to speak, smiley face. ChatGPT replied, that's a creative approach, exclamation mark. I really liked it. Addressing topics like AI from multiple perspectives, including directly referencing AI-generated content, can be both engaging and enlightening for your audience. If you have any other questions or need further insights for your sermon, feel free to ask. Best of luck with your presentation, smiley face. Not a bad response from something that lacks understanding. So even if it's not conscious, which it isn't, it has advanced leaps and bounds since 2011, mostly within the past few months, or is it during the past few days? It's happening so fast, it's hard to really know. In 2016, only 5 years after Watson played Jeopardy, Google's deep learning computer, AlphaGo, beat the world's champion at the game of Go, a board game more complex than chess by 1 million trillion times. Most remarkable is that AlphaGo was not programmed with the rules of the game, but taught itself to play through a process of trial and error called deep learning. Within hours, it went from knowing nothing about the game to becoming the world champion. That was a breakthrough because it marked an era in which computers, rather than being programmed by programmers, can essentially program themselves through experience. And today they can do so a lot better than they could in 2016, which is now ancient history in terms of computer evolution. In March of this year, for instance, only 5 months ago, I heard Imad Mustak, CEO of Stability AI, tell an audience, by the end of next year, you'll have ChatGPT on your mobile phone without internet. In near disbelief, Peter Diamandis had to ask Mustak to repeat himself. The reason it will be possible for this tech to be used without accessing the internet is because Stability AI has developed a means of compressing hundreds of terabytes, 1,000 gigabytes of images that actually represents 2 billion images, down in his words, to a 2 gigabyte file that can create anything. 2 billion images down to a 2 gigabyte file. Further predicting that it's going to get down to only 100 megabytes, a size that can currently hold about a 50-second video. Imagine all that information stored on that small amount of space. This means that even without access to that information on the internet, which may also soon become ancient history, we'll have to start calling our smartphones genius phones. Just imagine how such technology will unleash, enhance, and equalize the knowledge and creativity of people everywhere, even in some of the most remote areas on the planet, even some of the poorest and the most disadvantaged on the planet. No internet necessary, just ask your cell phone. The data is there. So that's two of the major changes in artificial intelligence since Watson won Jeopardy in 2011, deep learning and compression. The third major advance is convergence. Convergence is what happens when things that were once separate come together to become one complex whole. It's how things evolve, including technology. AI began to make serious advances in 2017 for this reason. Prior to then, AI developers working in various areas like speech synthesis, speech recognition, image generation, computer vision, music generation, and robotics were all working separately from each other and had very different methods. Their skills and their knowledge were not easily transferable from one area to another. They were different things. But in 2017, information theory became seriously applied to all of these fields, and they suddenly, everything, images, sound, biology, code, numbers, robotics, all got boiled down to language, to digital bits of information, so that all of these areas could be translated into one another because they were all made of the same thing. Like taking a piece of clay and reshaping it into whatever you want. This led to what is now called generative AI. With 1 or 2 sentence prompts, for example, comprised of text, you can get ChatGPT to write an essay, a poem, a song, a story, an outline, you name it. But there are other AI programs that you can prompt, also with text, with digital bits of information, that are then translated into music, or into pictures, or video, or narration, or computer code, and so on. When everything is translated into bits of information, those bits can easily be transformed into just about any medium, because every medium is comprised of bits of information, even us. At the 2023 Abundance 360 conference this past March, Peter Diamandis noted that AI has already been around for 67 years, asking, so why is it happening now? Why now? He says it's because of 4 factors. First, the law of accelerating returns, exponential growth, that is. AI has been doubling in power every year for nearly 7 decades. That sounds impressive enough, but remember the example of putting a grain of rice on the first square of a chessboard, then doubling the amount on every other square adds up, 64 squares in all, adds up to more grains of rice than there are in China, probably than there are in the world. 18 quintillion grains. And that's at the 64th power. 2 to the 67th power, right, 67 years ago, is almost 148 quintillion. That's how much it has advanced. That's the law of accelerating returns, and that's why we're suddenly noticing AI, because it has suddenly become so much more powerful in a very short time. We're on the curve. We're on the exponential curve. The second reason is the amount of data in the world has also been doubling for many years. Diamandis says it's so big that we don't even have a number for how big it is. We're about to introduce a new term called the yottabyte. That's 2 to the 80th power. 1,000,000 trillion megabytes of information that AI now has the power to peruse and interpret in only seconds. The third reason, Diamandis says, is that the cost to train AI plummeted 99% within the past 5 years. That's something else that's true of exponential technology. It not only becomes exponentially more powerful, but becomes exponentially cheaper and smaller and makes it accessible to billions of people. In other words, it becomes democratized. All right? The most powerful technology on the planet is democratized. The fourth reason, he says, is that corporate investment in AI has gone from 20 billion annually in 2013 to over 160 billion today. And it will be over 1.6 trillion by 2030. So no wonder Diamandis says there can be 2 kinds of companies at the end of this decade: those that are fully utilizing AI and those that have gone out of business. ChatGPT, which has only been with us since last November, has since passed the U.S. medical exam and the bar exam in minutes, and lots of other impressive exams. Considering this, I also asked ChatGPT if it can pass the Turing test. The Turing test, ChatGPT explains, as proposed by Alan Turing in 1950, is a test of a machine's ability to exhibit human-like intelligence, specifically the ability to generate responses that are indistinguishable from a human's. While I can generate very human-like text and can fool some people in brief interactions, it's likely that in extended or deeper conversations, my limitations will show. This is especially true when the conversation touches on emotions, personal experiences, or when it requires deep understanding rather than surface-level information processing. With responses like this, humble as ChatGPT sounds, it's no wonder Ray Kurzweil, whose predictions are 86% accurate, says we'll have human-level AI intelligence 6 years from now, and superhuman shortly after that due to the exponential advancement. By comparison, it took Netflix 3.5 years, 3.5 years to get 1 million users. It only took Facebook 10 months and Instagram 2.5 months to achieve that number of users. It took ChatGPT 5 days. It had 100 million users in 2 months. In a few years, or maybe just months, the internet may go away or become of little use because we're going to be asking our AI the questions we now search Google for. So we'll just ask AI for everything we need, and rather than going to it for just information, it will become a constant assistant in our lives. For those Iron Man fans who remember Jarvis, the AI that assistant, something like that. So it took a Linux open source operating system 20 years to get the number of users that it's taken Stability AI only 5 months to get. Stability AI is also an open source platform that translates text to images, not text to text, but text to images. When it launched in August of 2022, it went from generating an image from text in 6 seconds to 60 images a second in just 8 months. That's exponential change. So I just tested it out for the first time yesterday, asking Stability AI to create an image of a robot taking care of a baby. Now here's the image I received almost instantly. And by the way, this is, again, not a photograph that it pulled from an archive in response to my question. It generated this image, a photorealistic image. And at 60 images per second, it could very easily begin to produce films. Imagine being able to do entertainment on demand. I would like to have a story, an adventure story that stars somebody like Harrison Ford and Marilyn Monroe, for example, in the Alps, whatever. And boom, you've got it. You don't have to, it'd be a one-of-a-kind tailored bit of entertainment. That is really where we're heading, and it won't be long. So the company's founder, again, Ahmad Mustak, who predicts, I keep pausing because it doesn't look like Mustak, but that's how you say it. I remember cows, in a stockyard. That's what helps me. Mustak. Anyway, Ahmad Mustak, who predicts that there will be no computer programmers necessary 5 years from now. No computer programmers 5 years from now. And I just talked to somebody this morning whose son's a game designer, is using AI to write code. And it's very efficient and simpler and works. Doesn't have to struggle through that anymore. So he says that it's the biggest change in society ever. Any of you can now be creative. Any of you can now build systems. And so you build the systems that adhere to the unchanging demands of people to make their lives better. And that's value. And they'll pay you for that value. So there will be a lot of benefits to AI. But we also have to consider some of the concerns and fears about it. There are already lots of frightening reports in the news and on YouTube predicting that it's going to take over the world and wipe out humanity. I heard Bill Maher talking about it with Elon Musk not long ago, in which he asked, if you make things that are way smarter than you, why wouldn't they become your overlords? Well, for one, they may not think like you, Bill. But the question reflects the concerns of many. But it does not reflect what we should really be worrying about, which is how humans will abuse this tool to deceive and take advantage of other humans. It's not AI waking up we should worry about. It's how humans use this tool. Musk's response is one that I appreciated. It was very simple. I just think we should have some sort of regulatory oversight. Right? Now, regulatory oversight is a reasoned response to a tool that can be abused, but not to something that is going to become conscious and wipe out humanity. Right? Regulatory oversight, we need a little more if we're really concerned about that. And I think that Musk's attitude is proper for the level of legitimate concern here. The potential for some people to abuse this technology. I'm also befuddled that so many people right now are very worried about AI destroying the world as we know it, when we are already destroying the world as we know it. Can't we have that same level of concern? Can't we have some regulatory oversight? If anything, AI can become a powerful partner in helping stop and reverse global warming. As I said, there are lots of people making dire predictions about AI leading to a real-life Terminator situation. One of those who is getting a lot of media attention is Mo Gaudet, a former executive of Google. And I've taken him more seriously than some others because he was recently interviewed for over an hour by Peter Diamandis, who conversely is very optimistic about AI. And that he respected Godot enough to hear his concerns made me take notice. Last week, I watched a shorter interview of Godot on a Sky News Australia report. Here's some of what he had to say. We've never had an avalanche approach us that's bigger than this. Let me state it bluntly. The age of humanity being the superior intelligence of the planet is over. Some of the estimates are that AI will be 1 billion times smarter than humanity by the year 2045. 100%, could we, is not the question. We've created our next master. We have created either our salvation or destruction. We are at the point in human history where we are handing over control to machines. We messed up badly. These can be frightening claims coming from one with Godot's credentials, one who helped create this technology to begin with. But there's nothing in the report explaining why he believes any of these things about AI, nor why we should believe him, outside of him being a former Google executive. The report was based on, in fairness, on a 4-minute edited version of what I'm guessing was a much longer interview, so maybe his reasons got cut out. But this was the same issue I found with his longer form interview, unedited interview with Diamandis. Godot, like many people, too often states his beliefs without offering any of his reasons for them. Without giving his reasons, his claims are unreasonable and unsubstantiated, as unsubstantiated as many of the fear-based claims and conspiracies that abound these days. Again, AI, like any technology, can be and will be used for both good and bad. But we already have a very real apocalypse of our own making to address. We should regulate and legislate AI appropriately, but not turn its existence into just another paranoid conspiracy theory. That's my 2 cents, although admittedly, I do not have the credentials Mo Godot has when it comes to addressing this topic. I can't even begin to cover all the benefits, potential benefits of AI, a fraction of which include highly accurate medical diagnoses along with astonishing new medical advancements, education tailored to the needs of individuals, solutions to major problems like homelessness and climate change, smarter cities, predicting natural disasters like that earthquake in a timely manner, noticing fires just as they're beginning from outer space and alerting us to them, and so on and so on and so on. Instead, I want to begin to close with an example of how I've recently been using AI. So 3 weeks ago, while I was in Colorado, I created 15 videos, 2.5 to 3 minutes each, for my new YouTube channel called Philosophy in a Nutshell. It was a busy weekend, and I was only able to work on these videos in my spare time. But they each took only minutes to complete. Longer at first, but then once I got the software down, it was pretty simple. So with my own prompts, I asked ChatGPT to write the scripts, and Pictori AI to provide the music, voiceover, and video. I then used my own editing skills to lengthen some of the clips and to choose different clips than those first suggested where I was unhappy. Sometimes to change the music, select different music. Now, videos are about the early philosophers, my favorites, along with Socrates and Plato. So I intend to eventually have one for each of the Western philosophers. Once a week, I'll do one of these videos till I get all 45 or whatever it ends up being. So I've asked Shelley to show a couple examples. First is going to be the promotional video that was also produced by ChatGPT and Pictori AI, along with one video about one of my favorite philosophers, Heraclitus. And what I really want you to watch for is the humanity in the language that is used. So please, Shelley.
Welcome to Philosophy in a Nutshell. Ever wondered about life's biggest questions? Or pondered the meaning of, well, everything? From ancient Greece to modern existentialism, we dive deep into the world of philosophy and bring it to you in bite-sized, easy-to-understand pieces. Join us as we unravel the mysteries of the universe, one philosopher at a time. If you're curious, if you love to think, or even if you just want a different perspective on life, this is the channel for you. So hit that subscribe button. Be inspired by new videos weekly. And let's embark on the greatest journey of all. The journey of wonder. The journey of philosophy in a nutshell.
Exciting stuff. Here comes Heraclitus.
Heraclitus, philosopher of change. Ever wondered about the thinker behind the saying, "You cannot step into the same river twice"? Let's embark on a journey to understand Heraclitus. Born around 535 BC in Ephesus, an ancient Greek city, Heraclitus was a thinker unlike many of his time. While many of the elite of Ephesus engaged in politics and public affairs, Heraclitus preferred solitude, often retreating to the temple of Artemis to contemplate and write. Not much is known about his personal life, but legends say he was a bit of a loner, often deep in thought, which made him seem distant to many. Yet, his writings, they've profoundly impacted philosophy. In his primary work on nature, Heraclitus introduced groundbreaking ideas. He wasn't just speaking about rivers and fires, but about the very essence of the universe. He posited that logos, an underlying principle, governed everything, and that all entities undergo transformation. He believed everything is in constant flux, with fire being a primary symbol of this change, always shifting, adapting, and transforming. This idea wasn't just about physical change but was also a reflection on human nature and the world's unpredictability. Returning to that famous river saying, Heraclitus wasn't merely commenting on flowing water. He aimed to show that change is the only constant. Every moment is unique, and every experience is fleeting. His ideas might sound simple, but they were profound. They questioned the nature of reality itself and have influenced countless philosophers after him, from Plato to Nietzsche. Today, Heraclitus's philosophy still resonates. Whether it's changing technology, shifting seasons, personal growth, or global events, Change is embedded in every aspect of our lives. So, the next time you witness change, embrace it, ponder upon it, and remember Heraclitus, the philosopher who taught us to see the beauty in transformation.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, amazing age. And for me, you know, this is unleashing my creativity. I can be so much more productive, do things I wanted to do for a long time, but don't have the time to do it. And it's not much different than, you know, creating a video with an expensive prosumer grade camera and a subscription to the Adobe software, right? I'm still using technology to really find a way to make my ideas real. And now I'm able to do that with this technology in a way that's even more efficient than the digital video equipment, which helps speed things up from the analog days, right? So I'll try to put a link to that channel in our Sun. Remember to do that this week so you can watch some of those videos. And ChatGPT says, be sure and ask them to subscribe. Okay? Okay. So what I have found is that when searching for information about AI in general, there's a lot of fear. There's a lot of fearful articles and videos that come up. But when searching for information about how to use it for creative purposes, there is nothing but enthusiasm. AI is not only making my life easier as it is for other creators and developers, but also more productive, enabling me to take on those creative projects again that I had never dreamt that I'd have time for. And this is just the beginning. So for now, I want to close with one more example of how this technology can be used. I asked Stability AI to predict who will be the next president of the United States, and here was its response. Okay. I'm kidding. Yeah, anybody but Trump, right? I'm kidding, of course. I prompted it to give me a robot sitting in the Oval Office. So that's thought it'd be a fun way to end. So that's all I knew about AI. Thank you.
Please join me in the last hymn. Tried to choose a hymn that might connect to this, so I decided on We Celebrate the Web of Life. Number 175 in your hymnal. We celebrate the web of life, its magnitude we sing, for we can see divinity in every living thing. A fragment of the perfect whole in cactus and in quail, as much in a tiny barnacle as in the great blue whale. Of ancient streams we are the sum, our bones link stone to star, and bind our future worlds to come with worlds that were and are. Respect the water, land, and air which gave all creatures birth. Protect the lives of all that share the glory of the earth.
Our benediction this morning is the simple but profound statement by Ram Dass. We are all just walking each other home. Amen, blessed be, salam alaikum, and shalom. Shalom Haverim, Shalom Haverim.
Shalom, shalom.
I'm so sorry. I'm coming the other night, but I have a
Shalom.